Hey everybody, Jack with Steam Engines USA, and tonight, or actually today, this morning, coming to you under the house over at my parents' house, and we're out a pressure switch, low pressure switch. So the water kept cutting off, and it was pretty much a bad one of these. So whenever you have to change one of these switches out, this is a 30 psi tank. It's a 30 psi switch, 30-50. So what you did is you fill this tank up. There's a little valve up here. You fill the tank up with air, and you make sure you get 28 pounds of air in there. And then we've got a hose run over here to run out water, and you cut the power off to this switch, and the power for this one is right here. So it was very easy. You get you one of the volt checkers, and let's see. So I use this one here. It's a very simple one. You just put the two wires on make your connection, and if that's lights on, then you got power. Right now I don't have any power because I've turned it off. So then you diagram this, make sure you got your wires right, and then all right, and then we switch this out. I'm making a little video, so hey Dad. So we've switched this out. Dad just went and cut water back on, and so what we want is for this little PSI gauge, we want it to go up to 30. So what I'm going to do now, after you unscrew this old one, after you disconnect the wires, screw on the new one, and you always want to hold the base down here with some pliers or something so it doesn't twist. So now we're going to cut it on. We're going to cut the switch. So we should have some power. Let's see here. So I'm going to come over here with my little gauge, my tester. And as you can see, I got light. See? So now we have power. And what we want to do is you want to use this little arm and just lift. See the little contacts right there? You want them to come up. Just barely hold it together. Just enough, and you can hear the water moving. And what it's going to do is it's going to fill that tank up. So let go of it. So right now, see how it's got the two you don't want to touch this because it'll zap me, but see how the two contacts, like on this one, I'll use the old one, when the space right in here, when you move the lever, whoops, let's see if I can try to do this with one hand. I think we're good. Whoops. Yeah, hold that right there. I'm gonna turn it, whoops, towards me. Okay, yeah, there you go. See how when I move it, these little contacts, they touch just a little bit. So right there, that's what we did. I just held it just enough. Whoops. Just enough to get those contacts to touch. And then it filled up. As you can see, the pressure gauge is now up there to 50 psi. So what happens is when you cut water on in the house, your pressure gauge is going to slowly drop down to 30. And once it hits the 30, those little contacts automatically will come together on their own. You don't have to do anything down here, and it'll pump water into the pressure tank. And so the 28 psi of pressure that we have in here is what controls. There's a bladder in here that puts pressure on the water, and that's the only thing that controls the water pressure in your house. So if the bladder inside that tank ruptures or damages or leaks, then you got a problem. So you have to replace the tank. So right now, it looks like you go get Mom to run some water. So we'll go test it out and see what happens here. Hold on, I'm gonna be right back. I gotta use two hands. All right, so Mom's getting ready to go flush a commode or get some water running. We'll watch this gauge. I can hear the water moving. And watch this. This should kick on. It's getting pretty close. There it goes. See how it just did that? It kicked on. Now our pressure's rising. See, it got down to 30. And it should rise all the way back up to 50.
Okay, we're good. You can use the water now.
Yep. So it's almost there. So as soon as it hits 50, we'll jump, look over here, watch the contacts. They'll come off. There you go.
Yeah, we're perfect.
Yep, so it was working like a charm. So that is essentially all you need to do to change out one of these low pressure gauges and save yourself a $300 service call to a plumber. Now, that is a simple process. If this pressure tank is bad, I've done a couple of those myself. You get into it's a little bit more complicated because you get into cutting pipe and adding pipe, and it's just a little more in depth, but it's something most people that's pretty hands-on and knowledgeable can handle. But we're in a low crawl space, and Dad done crawled under here.
This is definitely the crawl space.
Yes, this is the so here. But we're good. We got water. That should be good to go. So all I'm gonna do now is put this cover back on here, and we should be good to go. So from now I'm in McLeansville, North Carolina. Thanks for watching Steam Engines USA. Have a great day.